Hello, welcome to your academy. At your academy, we have been dealing with the General Prologue. So far, we have dealt with quite a number of portraits from the Prologue. If you want to watch lecture on any of the portraits from the General Prologue, you can check out this link. It will take you to the playlist section of the General Prologue. Today, in this lecture, we will deal with the portrait of the miller. Now, the miller is a character who is put besides that of reeve, manciple, summoner and pardoner. Geoffrey Chaucer informs us after he discusses the portrait of the plowman that there are four other important characters who are with us besides me, and they are the miller, the reeve, the manciple and the pardoner. And these would be 4-5 characters with which the characterization in the prologue would come to an end. Miller appears towards the end of the General Prologue, and the miller is not a good character. He is not presented in the best of the ways, and we also know from the tales that Miller and reeve tell us that there is an enmity between the miller and the reeve. Reeve takes an offense to the tale told by the miller, and in return he seeks revenge in his own tale upon the miller. You can go and read the tales and understand how this tussle is there between miller and reeve. So let's take up the portrait of Miller and try to understand how he appeared to Geoffrey Chaucer. The miller was a stout churl, be it noun, hardy and big of brawn and big of bone. Now here is he, stout churl. Stout means fat, fat man, and churl means dishonest, mean person. So the adjectives are not good. The characteristics are not good. And he was big build. Branny means, strong in physical strength. He was physically very strong. So here the focus would be on the physical appearance of the miller more than about his traits, which was well proved, for when he went on lamb at wrestling, never failed he of the ram. And this was proved that he was of good strength, his bones were strong. Whenever he went to punch someone in the wrestling, he never failed to knock him out, to throw him down. He always won there. He was a chunky fellow, broad of build. He would heave a door from hinges if he willed. Chunky means thick and heavy. He was thick and heavy, broad build. He can pull off a door if he willed out of its hinges. Look what he is telling us. An animalistic kind, a wild beast would be the best description of the miller. If there was a door and you can pull that along with its hinges. So mighty strong was the miller. Or break it through by running with his head, his beard as any sow or fox was red. Or, if he could not drag a door out of its hinges, he can break it with his head. That's weird description of a character. And how was his beard? His beard was red. Now look what he's telling us about this miller. Nothing special. Making fun of him? Or was he really like that? I don't know. And broad it was as if it were a spade. Upon the coping of his nose he had a rod, and thereon stood a tuft of hairs, red as the bristles in an odd sow's ear. And his beard was red. How did it look? It was like spade. Now look at the physical description of Miller. He must have had long beard, and it appeared like a spade. Perhaps his beard wasn't well kept, or he did not wash his face. What was he doing? God knows. Now on his nose there appeared a rot. Now rot is a small growth which is rough in texture, which can appear on any body part. So he had that on his nose, and there were hairs, thick hairs which had grown on it, and those hairs were red in color. So this is how more weird and more strange his appearance becomes, as Chaucer keeps describing his appearance more than anything else. His nostrils, they were black and very wide, a sword and buckler bore he by his side. Nostrils, his nostrils were black and wide. Disgusting kind of an appearance, is it? Broad nostrils and black suggests that he is not a clean fellow. He does not keep himself clean, and then God perhaps has created him in the weirdest of the manners that could be. And he also had a sword and a buckler along with him, and the sword and the buckler were only missing when it came to the parson and the plowman. Rest, almost all the characters were carrying a sword and a buckler. His mouth was like a furnace, door for size. He was a jestler and could poetize. Should I explain it? His mouth was like a furnace. Now his nostrils were wide. His mouth was like a furnace, as wide as his door. He was an ape. Perhaps apes are beautiful than the miller is. And he was a jester. He could make jokes and he could poetize. He could, narrate those jokes in poetic manner. That's one of the skills that he tells us about. The rest, there is nothing that we would like about the miller. But mostly all of sin and ribaldries, he could still con and full thrice charge his fees. But his jests, his jokes, his tales were of sins and ribaldries. Ribaldry means irrelevant talk, disgusting talk. So he would always, speak bad things. And if you read the tale of Miller, you will come to know that what kind of stuff does Miller talk. He talks disgusting kind of things. And he was a thief also, He was a thief. He did thefts of the corn and he would also charge the fees. And yet he had a thumb of gold, begad, a white coat and blue hood he wore. This lad, he also had gold, perhaps a ring of gold. Begad is a word used for surprise. Oh, he had gold. He did not look like that, but he had. And he had put on a white coat and blue hood. This lad, whose mouth is as wide as door, his nostrils are wide, who can break door with his head, such a weird character, is putting on a white coat and blue hood. A bagpipe he could blow well, be it known, and with that same he brought us out of the town. A bagpipe is a musical instrument. You should know that he can blow that musical instrument also. So that is another skill that this Miller has, perhaps only the second one, besides the fact that he could poetize and he was jester. So he could play this bagpipe, and it was with this that he brought us out of town. Now, as we were traveling to this pilgrimage, he did play that music on the bagpipe. That was the portrait of the miller. Again, a weird, wild beast kind of a character is the miller, with no good things had been said about him. Most of his portrait is about his appearance, which is as disgusting as it can be, which is as weird as it can be. So as weird is the appearance of the miller, so weird would be the tale of the miller, which would be about the Reeve, and Reeve would not like the tale of Miller and would take revenge when Reeve in return would tell the tale. That is all we have at your academy today. I hope that this lecture was helpful for you and you were able to understand the portrait of the miller. Thank you for watching, and you can keep watching the lectures on the General Prologue. You can click here to go to the playlist section of the General Prologue. You can click here to watch the lecture, The Manciple. You can click there at the top to subscribe your academy, and don't forget to share, like and comment on the videos of your academy. Thank you for watching, and keep watching your academy.